My guest this week is Mary Houlihan. Mary is a comedian, writer, and artist based in New York City. She has been featured on Comedy Central, Adult Swim, Viceland, the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, San Francisco Sketch Fest, The New Yorker, McSweeney's, Reductress, and many other reputable comedy things, including doing the art for Pera Talks to You. And she currently hosts Mary Houlihan's Painting Party on Twitch and YouTube. And it's my great pleasure to welcome the Revolutions Per Movie, Mary Houlihan. Hi, Mary.
Hello, Christopher. How are you?
I'm doing so awesome because we're going to talk about a film that up till you choosing this film for the show, I'd only seen once.
I've seen it 1,000 times.
I know, that's why I'm so excited, is getting to see it through people's eyes. Spice World. I will tell you, my brother was obsessed with the Spice Girls. He went and saw them live. He bought all their... He had like 50 dolls in his house.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't wait to get into all that with you. But for the people who are uninitiated to Mary Houlihan's Painting Party, can you tell them what the hell it is?
Sure. Okay. So I have a Twitch show where I paint with friends. And there's a lively chat, and the people in the chat, they make art too, and they send in their art. And we just vibe out, and sometimes we play video games.
Yeah, I saw one recently where you're playing Super Mario Party Jamboree.
Yes. So sometimes
really funny.
it's gaming, sometimes it's like a study hall for artists to chat and paint.
I just want to ask you something. So I'm watching Mary Houlihan's Painting Party, and you're like, today we're going to paint two pickles. And you start in, and it's like pink and brown. And I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden it turns into realistic pickles. Yeah. So were you always able to break down like colors? Because like, it's so weird. I live with a visual artist who's like, yeah, there's blues and yellows and greens in people's faces that I don't see.
Totally.
Were you always able to see that, or was that something you learned in art school, or?
Some of it's art school. I would say all painting is much like math in that the education is cumulative. And so or I guess music is the same thing too. You learn how to do little things, and then you can learn more ambitious things. So you could learn color theory, and so some of that, like what you're talking about, is like green and red are like opposites on the color spectrum. And oh my goodness, I didn't realize that balloons would appear. I've listened to podcasts where people say, oh my God, my MacBook is generating balloons and I can't stop it. And this is the first time it's happening.
Every color of the rainbow too. It was great.
Okay, so for instance, green and red are opposites, orange and blue are opposites, yellow and purple are opposites. A good way to remember it is like a lot of professional sports have complementary colors, like the Lakers are yellow and purple, the Mets and the Knicks are blue and orange. Okay. So that's how I always remember. And Christmas is green and red. So there's ways to like utilize complementary colors that, like, if you have a red underpainting on a green pickle, it'll make it really pop and look more 3D by the time you're done with it. And so you just keep doing like layers of different colors and different lightness to try to create the illusion of like a 3D shape.
Is there anything that even though you've learned it, that you're just like, this is so weird in terms of just the reality of making like a two-dimensional piece of art?
I think like manipulating the amount of like three-dimensionality you can like try to create is very interesting and also frustrating. Like if you're trying to make something realistic, and again, it's kind of like a math problem. Sometimes you just keep painting the same part over and over and you're like, oh my God, it like still looks weird. And you have to keep doing layer after layer until you're satisfied.
Did your sense of humor inform your artwork early?
When I was a kid, I liked drawing comics and drawing I loved cartoons, so I liked The Simpsons and Dexter's Lab and Powerpuff Girls. So I liked drawing and definitely recognize that a lot of cartoons were very, very funny while also looking very interesting.
But if you go to something and do like your show at the Fringe Festival in Edinburgh,
Uh-huh.
and I read the description, a review, and it said her room is shaped like a corridor, her tech is swinging from a tin, and her show relies on the disembodied projection of Jack Nicholson's head.
Yeah.
So, okay, you can say that you love cartoons, but where does something like that come from?
Okay. It's funny because a lot of this is like the way you're phrasing it is like, oh, how did you come up with this brilliant concept? But it's more just like a series of practical decisions of like, so if you're
Yeah,
doing a fringe show, it's just going to be you. You can only afford to fly yourself, and you could bring a sketch group or something, but it's just
right.
more stuff to figure out. And so I would do a bit with my friend Bardia Salimi, who's a very funny comedian. And we would just sort of improvise him being Jack Nicholson and me being like a 27-year-old who's dating him. And that like everyone on the outside world can see like, what is she doing with this guy? And so we would just sort of riff on that sometimes. So I wrote a show out of it. And so Bardia has to stay here and work. So I recorded him doing all of his lines. And then, um, like on a PowerPoint, it would be one audio phrase would be triggered with a picture of Jack Nicholson to like give the illusion that he's there talking to me. Um, so it's more just very convoluted uh, as a means of making the thing, but there's no reason it shouldn't work as just like a two-person play. Yeah.
Right. And does the tech work on something like that, or is it kind of more fun to just be like seat of the pants?
Well, there's the thing. It does work in theory, but there's, of course, it's very easy to mess up because
Right.
it's like I have to memorize every single line in order to fit this PowerPoint. And so sometimes it gets a laugh if like the audience can tell, like, oh, she obviously missed something there. Sometimes that is funny in itself, so that adds to it.
So with Spice World, you said you've seen this 1,000 times.
Yes.
So where were you when the Spice Girls came out?
I was the perfect age demo. I feel like I remember being aware of them when I was like 7 or 8. I think when I was 8 was like their breakout year where the movie came out and they had a ton of hits on American radio. And gosh, what little girl or little gay boy wouldn't love these girls because they all wear costumes, they all have funny attitudes. They're like real life dolls kind of. So I was really into them and I was very tomboyish. So of course I liked sporty.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, okay, so you got Ginger is Jerry Holloway, right?
Yes, yeah.
And then who is Mel B scary? Is that
Yes,
right?
Mel B is scary, Mel C is sporty, Emma is baby spice. And oh, what's her name is posh. David Beckham's wife.
Oh, Victoria.
Yes, 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 yes.
It's so funny. I didn't know till I was doing some research on the film that all those nicknames were given to them by the press. It was a top of the pops zine that was like, and then they're just like, yeah, we're gonna stick with it.
Yeah. Well, that's smart of them. Yeah, they're almost like a Malcolm McLaren group, like
Yeah.
very stylized characters.
Well, and it's so weird nowadays if they were doing something like this, people would do a digital film, they'd send it in like an audition, and there'd be, hundreds of thousands of people auditioning to be in something like this.
Yes.
But when they did this, they said they had a little over 400 people audition after seeing something in like a trade publication.
Yeah.
It's so few people when you think about it. Like
Yes,
at the time, we're like, oh yeah, I'll try out for this thing and see where it goes.
yes, and I really like that. Like the group themselves are very campy and silly. They feel very like '90s pop culture to me. Because I feel like if a group like that was made today, they would be more like sexy and alluring. Like they wouldn't be like winking at the camera so much. So I appreciate that about them.
Well, like you said, the demographic for them was,
Kids, gay men, yeah.
yeah, yeah, and it's part of kind of UK culture. My wife is from Scotland, and she just talks about how things just sweep the nation. Like, okay, it's Britpop, and then before that, it's this. Her brother worked in a record store, and every year he had a different wild haircut. One that's just like a little cotton ball.
Yes,
The
yeah,
next one, hair down to his shoulders with suspenders, looking like he's in, Primal Scream.
yeah,
It's so weird, but also how quickly, by the time of their second album, they're already getting chewed up in this
yeah.
thing, and the film touches on it. So it's kind of it must be weird to be in something that is huge. It's not your fault, it's huge.
Yes, and that is funny to think about that, like, at the time that they would have been doing all this, like, their peers in the industry would have been like Oasis and Blur and
Totally.
people with such a different vibe, but who also themselves play into, like, tabloid culture, just in, like, a totally different way.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I remember flipping by Saturday Night Live and seeing five dudes dancing with chairs, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know any of these cast members." And it was the Backstreet Boys, right?
Oh.
Oh, it's so funny to think like, oh yeah, grunge and all that had already been done and spit out, and this was after.
Yeah,
But so to me, I was like, "What am I watching?" And then it's just like, yeah, it's back. It's like people like groups and they like personalities and they like fantasy.
yeah, it's like, the listening public got tired of quote unquote authenticity. They were like,
Yes.
no more flannels, show us something really silly.
Well, it's true, and that's kind of what's so funny to be like generationally punishing something for them being like, even though you could say they were created, as an act, they were put
Mhm.
together, you know, they did co-write a lot of their songs. They self-managed themselves for a large part of their career. They were really involved in a way that I think people may not be aware of.
Yes, and also like not everyone put in their position would handle it well, let alone a group of five people. Like that's lightning in a bottle, baby. Like I would, how many boy and girl groups just break up for whatever reason? So the fact that they could get this huge and all get along means they're probably normal-ish people to deal with.
Right.
Because, okay, so as you said, you watched this movie once and then rewatched it with fresh eyes. You're probably now Spice World pilled like I am, where it's
Yes.
like I could see how maybe if I was like socialized as a straight man, probably the first time I would watch this movie, I'd be like, what is this? But I feel like if you really watch it and listen to the jokes, it's like, oh, this is like a hard day's night. This is just like one of those like really, really funny Beatles comedy movies. It's so silly and stupid and funny.
And it's so funny, I had this on VHS tape at the video store. So at this point, we'd been open 2 years. So this was still the era where a tape cost $98 to bring into the store. And you would make these decisions like, okay, is this a one taper or a two
Oh,
taper?
sure. Yeah.
Like certain things were like, if you're getting two tapes for a store like us, that was like, you're going in big.
Yeah.
Did you see this in the theater or where did you get to see the film?
Yes, I actually I don't remember seeing it in the theater, but I'm certain I did. It seems like the kind of thing that a grown-up would have taken me to. Uh, and we had the VHS tape, and me and my brother would watch it all the time. And my brother is a straight guy, but he likes silly, goofy comedy. And my parents really liked goofy comedies, like they liked Mel Brooks and Airplane and stuff. And so I feel like everyone in my family got on board of like, oh, this movie's actually kind of funny.
Yeah, it was directed by Bob Spears, who did shows like Are You Being Served and Faulty Towers, and
Yes.
the brother of the manager of the Spice World, of the
Hmm.
Spice Girls,
Yeah.
Kim Fuller, wrote the screenplay, but he did stuff for like Red Dwarf and Spitting Image. So like they're both really well known.
They got chops. Yeah.
Exactly. And the film is very vignette oriented.
Yes. It's like a sketch movie in a way.
Yeah, it's more like Help in a weird way than Hard Day's
Yes.
Night.
Yeah.
It's like we're putting you in these weird circumstances and flashbacks and
Yes.
larger than life things.
Yes. How is each of the girls going to react when they have a militant dance instructor picking on them? Or
And also you watch it now and the cast, the supporting cast is relentlessly incredible.
yes, Alan Cumming.
Alan Cumming, underused, I will say.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, oh wow, I've never seen him be so quiet.
Yeah.
Roger Moore,
Yes.
Richard O'Brien, who created Rocky Horror and played Riff Raff,
Hmm.
Mark McKinney from Kids in the Hall,
Yes.
and the weirdest one, George Wendt from
Yes.
from, from
Yeah.
Cheers,
George
Norm.
Wendt as like a Hollywood bigwig.
So you're watching these during this opening sequence, which is like maybe the most 90s title sequence I've ever seen of all time. It's like tipping its hat a little to like an Austin Powers spy psychedelic vibe, and they're introducing them one by one in silhouettes, and there's all these bright colors that are swirling around, and then these names are coming up, and you're like, holy shit! Like, how did I forget that? Like
Yeah.
Richard E. Grant is going to show up with these incredible sideburns and some facial
Mhm.
hair. Like,
Oh, and who could forget? Meatloaf is in this.
yeah, the bus driver. Well, I did until yeah, and the other incredible thing is the amount of cameos. Like out of the gate, the Spice Girls are basically they're trying to put together on like a live simulcast, worldwide simulcast, and there are people trying to thwart it, and you know
Yeah.
they're on tour at the same time and having to do photo shoots and this and that. So it's like it is a bit of like a day in the life. Um, but what's really funny is they keep running into real life celebrities. And my favorite one is right at the beginning, they run into Elton John
Hmm.
in a hallway. And they're like, oh, kisses. So good to see you, Elton John. Bye. It's 13 seconds long of them kissing on the cheeks and then being like, we got to run. Bye. And I was like, 13 seconds. It
Yes.
just, that scene blew my mind.
That's so funny. Yes, the movie feels very Hollywood. Like I know it's
Yes.
London, it's not Hollywood, but yeah, all those type of things. It just makes you picture like what were the logistics of like calling Elton's agent and saying like it's gonna be really funny, it's gonna be in good fun, it's gonna take half a day max. You just come in and you don't even have to memorize.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you have Bob Hoskins, you have
Uh-huh.
Bob Geldof, you have Jennifer Saunders. I bet at the same time, when something is this huge,
Uh-huh.
you get to be part of something that's like a worldwide sensation.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, they're the Beatles right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to be in a Beatles film.
Right.
Makes total sense. So, but I just love that the cameos are just so fleeting.
Yes.
Like you really
Yeah.
do get this sweaty sense that they're like, it's not going to take long. We'll get you
Yeah.
in and out. But here's what you're going to do.
Yeah, it's like they're more there to co-sign the project or add visual flair or something.
So when they finally reveal the meatloaf driven double decker
Yes.
Union Jacked bus,
Yes.
did a young Mary Houlihan, were you obsessed with being in
Yes.
that bus?
That just made me like cackle. I thought it was so funny to have because they have, if you guys haven't seen it, there's these exterior shots of like a very petite micro double-decker bus. And then they cut to the interior and it's clearly like a warehouse. It's huge.
Yeah, and they all got their own sections.
Yes, so it's very, very silly British, dare I say, Mr. Bean-like humor. Just a lot of silly visual gags. There's also, spoiler alert, there's the big scene at the end where the bus jumps over the London Bridge or jumps over some bridge. and they cut to, it's like live action, and then it cuts to like clearly a miniature diorama doing it. And now that I'm saying that out loud, I'm like, oh, I've directly stolen that in like every video I've ever made.
Oh, so you gotta lay it on us.
Oh, so there was one I did in a series called Learn to Paint with Mary Houlihan, and it was all filmed on green screen and with practical effects. So there was a bit in one of the episodes where I fall down a mountain, and then it cuts to like a Barbie dressed in my outfit, like ooch, ouch, 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 falling
Oh,
down
right.
the
Yes.
mountain. It was pretty funny. This is such a sign of the times that it was. It was produced by Comedy Central for Snapchat exclusively. And it was
Wow.
like, it's going to air on Snapchat on this one day ever, and then no one will ever see it.
Wow. Well, what about the one where your puppet is arguing with you
Yes,
about
yes,
is that the same series?
that's the same one.
Those are so great.
Thank you. I really like them. So that was kind of like a funny thing of like I had to, like, as long as this contract with Snapchat and Comedy Central was active, like I couldn't post it anywhere. And so everything was made in like 2016, and then it wasn't till like 2018 or 2019 that I could start sharing it on everything.
The one with the puppet, like basically berating what you were making.
Yes.
I was like, oh, there's a lot of truth in this.
Oh yeah. Yes, living in society. I'm of course getting berated by the puppet for my art not being whatever, and so then I become a businesswoman at the end of
Yes.
the short. Um, and I gotta give a special shout out. That puppet is operated by Tim Platt, and he is a comedian and a songwriter, and he makes funny songs. And a lot of them are like kid-friendly songs. So they're not edgy, badass songs. They're very cute and funny.
It's kind of like I feel like some of the work I've seen of yours also walks that line too.
Rated PG.
And it's this film too. It's like I'm
Yes.
starting to get the full thing. If you're looking inside the bus and all the different spaces, you have Ginger on like a bed.
And she has her chessboard. That's why I wore my chess shirt.
Oh, awesome. Okay, I guess I know which room you'd want to spend time in.
Well, as an adult, I definitely relate more to her. But as a kid, I really liked Baby's part of the bus because she had a little swing and stuffed animals.
Yeah, she had like a toy kid slide, the
Yeah.
ones that like as an adult, you can basically stick out your legs and you're touching the ground.
Hmm.
They're definitely playing into like the Monkees, Beatles, kind of like
Yes.
they know their roles and they're not going to switch from it until there's parody later in the film of them playing each other.
Right. Yes.
The thing that really amazed me watching this through this time was how everyone in the supporting cast is swinging so hard with their humor. Richard E. Grant as their manager is as manic and crazed as he is in like with Nail and I.
Borderline evil. He has an
Yeah.
evil determination to him.
Yeah. And then like Mark McKinney pitching his
Yes.
version of the
Yeah.
script and getting really obsessed and starting to like kind of foam at the mouth. It's like really kind of amazing that there wasn't, again, like I said, now I think you're right. People will be so self-aware of, oh, is this going to be a hit? What is this going to mean? Am I going to be made fun of? Is this going to be like a gift? What, like, and this, they're just like, I'm going to be in this hit. I'm just going to
Yeah.
have fun. Everyone in this film is having fun.
Absolutely. Something that was funny rewatching it this morning was like now some of the showbiz jokes are like funny to me. Like I remember as a kid, of course, I could recognize like there's the scene where, okay, something I really liked as a kid is that the five girls have one best friend. They all share one best friend. I thought that was a really funny bit. Okay, so there's a scene where their one best friend, she goes to an industry party and someone says like, are you part of the spice phenomenon? And she says, no, I'm just a nobody. And the guy's like, okay, and then like walks away and finds someone else to talk to. And so, of course, I recognized that that was funny and oh, that poor girl. But now, as like a grown up, I'm like, I've seen that in real life. I've seen people treat each other like that.
I have that in my notes. That happened to me.
Yes, all the time.
This sounds really dumb. This is definitely going to age me, but the minute I was no longer on Sub Pop in 1992,
You're
the
nobody.
amount of people that like kind of looked through me, I was really fucked up and haunting.
Yes.
And so even as I'm watching the Spice World thing, I'm like making this like, yeah, this happened to me. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like I'm nobody, you know. It
Yeah.
was really weird.
So when I was a kid, I mostly just thought that's such a funny joke that like these five girls would have the one best friend. But now as a grown up, I felt like, wait, this is kind of relatable. This is their friend from home, and you like you love your friend from home. And
Oh my god! And it's so funny because so Nicola,
uh-huh,
their best friend is played by the woman who is in Ab Fab, who's Sophie's best friend,
uh-huh.
Nakori Murray. I think is I believe is her name.
And she asked the five girls to all be the one godmom.
Yeah, they have one best friend, but they always leave her alone after 25 seconds of conversation with
Yeah.
her to go dance or do something. They're like, bye, see ya.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's true that they're like, oh, we're having an industry party tonight. It's gonna be kind of whatever, but hey, there's gonna be food and drinks if you want to come, but no worries if you don't want to come.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's that kind of friend, and then they have to be like, okay, sorry, someone's trying to take a picture of me. I'll be right back.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna go dance.
Yeah, yeah,
You can be pregnant up on the balcony
yeah,
and
yeah.
get snubbed
Let
by
us
people.
know if you need anything.
I'm also always obsessed in films that try to recreate a club scene.
Yes,
So in this, when they have like their dance party stuff, there's always like some people with mohawks and
yes.
pierced noses and like, you know, everything from like the film Blade to this. I'm always obsessed with how they stage like what is the most mind-blowing thing. But also you had to think about like, yeah, what is a 7 or 8 year old going to
Hmm.
think of this? Like we can't like have people in the background doing coke and
Right.
you know like people grinding over here. It's like a very weird like we're going to push it a bit with some subversion but we're not going to be too scary.
That's a good point because I feel like, okay, so I have nieces, they're twins and they're five. And so I watch stuff with them. And I feel like if they're watching Trolls World Tour or oh, what's Sing with the
Yeah.
bar, like I feel like they'll have ways of depicting a nightclub or a concert for adults, but everything's like in euphemism.
Yeah, and it's weird because I mean, you're watching these films now and they go out of the way to say, yeah, we make these for adults too now
Right,
so
yeah.
that adults but in this film, do you feel like it did a good job of like reaching kids and adults?
I think so because you could totally enjoy this as a child and basically not get any of the jokes and just have fun of like, I love their outfits. They're so pretty,
Right.
you know? Um, but yeah, it doesn't matter if you as an 8-year-old are understanding the things they're parodying. But also it's fun. It was a fun, family movie in that way because then you could watch it and, your dad is like, "That's James Bond," and you're like, "Oh, okay."
Right. We're really lucky that they cut Gary Glitter out of the film. Do you know about
Yes.
this?
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So, yeah, they're doing Leader of the Gang, this Gary Glitter cover, and he was shot for it. You can find the footage online. And then during the production, he was arrested and jailed for
Yes.
child pornography. And just imagine if this film had come out aimed at kids with Gary Glitter coming on with both fists in
I
the air and his like
know.
glam stuff. And they're like, oh, we love Gary. It's like, oh, shit.
Yeah. That's also a funny thing, like, that reminds me, he's not a funny thing, but the phenomenon of like, this reminds me of being a little kid. And when I was a little kid, I was born like December 89. And so like I remember Gary Glitter being in the news. I remember OJ Simpson being in the news for like
Right.
over a year. And you're kind of just like picking up context clues from like the news or how grown-ups are talking about it. And so I remember being like hearing about, oh, what happened with Gary Glitter? Oh, he's in trouble. He did something bad. Yeah, he did something bad. He's in, wait, who's he? Oh, he has the I'm a leader, and he does no, what other songs does he do? He does that song that plays in stadiums, and hey, those are probably the only two songs you would know of them, and yeah, you're like a little kid getting this vague story about like this guy was bad, and this is who he is, and we're not going to tell you more.
Well, it's such an overstuffed film that it's almost like a percentage thing. Like somebody's going to be bad in this
Yeah,
film at some point. It's just so overstuffed with
right.
celebrities.
But even now, like with my little nieces, I feel like sometimes they ask grown-up questions and you're like,
Right.
you think of like the careful way to say like patriarchy is a thing that some some people like, but we don't like it. Okay.
Right. What about all the musical sequences in the film? Like as a kid and and seeing it now, do you think that they're good at lip syncing? Like does their moves still do it for
I
you?
think they're very professional, I would say.
It's not like watching, Beyonce now put on a Coachella show.
Sure,
It's
yeah.
like their idea of choreography is very it's simpler.
It feels like choreography for the screen or something like that, like for the TV and home video screen. Of course, this is also like prime TRL VMA
Right.
era. Um, so yeah, I feel like nowadays, like a Lizzo or a Beyonce or someone, um, they're I feel like artists are more supposed to put on, or there's more pressure for them to put on like a huge Vegas spectacular or like something that's like athletically impressive of like, wow, I can't believe they were really singing and dancing like that. Holy crap, they're so talented. And this is not like that. It's very just like we're making a funny film and they're gonna lip sync, but they're gonna do a good job. They're precise about it.
Yeah, I really like is the song Saturday Night Divas? Is that what it's called? The one where they're changing into different personas like Bowie and
Yeah.
Elvis, and that was really fun. Like again, it's like
Yeah.
very, late 90s. Like you said, this could have been in the Mr. Bean film.
Yeah. Or like it even reminds me of like I feel like a lot of the music videos for the boy bands and the girly pop stars were like this. Like, did you ever see the NSYNC video where they're dolls and they break out of the doll
I
boxes?
remember that. Yeah, that was such a big
Yeah,
deal. Right.
yeah. And I would say Britney Spears when she's in the red suit and she's in outer space with a astronaut guy, that also has a similar visual appeal as this film.
Yeah, there's a definite color sheen in the film, and like it's weird. It's a film that looks expensive and kind of cheap at the same time. Does that make
Yes.
sense?
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I think part of it is a lot of times when they're talking in a space, you can hear like background chatter and the actual reverb in the room. Like if they're in a club talking, you hear like the empty space bouncing around, and
Uh-huh.
then someone will like like in the hospital, let's say, when their friend is giving birth, the nurse walks in. It's like their voice has no reverb on it. They've dubbed it in, and then it cuts to them, and it's like bouncing off this
Yes.
hallway.
Uh-huh.
It's so strange. It's like, okay, we're not even going to clean that up, or we're not going to even work on they weren't thinking in those terms. It's so
It
strange.
seems like the way that they were filming it was probably like because there's so many celebrities and you have to do like tight schedules, like there just isn't room for reshoots. So
Yeah.
they're probably just like, we're gonna shotgun mic it. Um, Let us know your avails if we need to ADR any of this afterwards.
Yeah, because they were writing the songs while they were making the movie. It's a
Yeah, they
lot.
were probably going on tour like right after the movie wrapped.
So do you have a favorite sequence or characters in the film?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I like when they're on the boat and they're listening to My Boy Lollipop with their two fans that won the contest to meet them.
Yeah, and it leads to the shortest trauma I've ever seen in a film, like a
Yes, yeah.
20-second trauma. And it's like, everything's okay now, everybody. We're good.
Yes, the girls go overboard and then the Spice Girls have to swim into the river and save them. But it's all good. It's all good. Everyone has life jackets.
Yeah, they have life jackets, everything. They're having fun. They want to do it again, you know?
Yes. Uh-huh.
So when did you start realizing that maybe your time with the Spice Girls was over, or did you always continue to kind of hold them in your heart?
Well, I think they disbanded, and so I had to respect their choice. So Mel C had a couple solo songs, and I remember, keeping up with those. Victoria obviously became like a celeb and a fashion designer. So yeah, I feel like I sort of kept abreast of what they were up to.
What was your next musical thing that you were into?
I liked NSYNC, and but then I got really embarrassed of liking pop things because I had all of my siblings were older, and so they were very like, that's for babies. And so I very quickly started listening to more grown-up stuff. And by grown-up stuff, I mean like Rancid, Op Ivy.
Right.
So I guess that's middle school music.
Right. You weren't like putting on Grand Funk Railroad and
No.
Can't Heat and getting into like some real
Yes,
swampy blues. Yeah.
sure. Well, that's also a funny thing. It's funny to talk to someone who's like a music head, but of a different generation because like all my touchstones are like, and remember when we were all in junior high and high school and Kazaa and LimeWire came out, and then you'd be downloading comedy songs, so you'd be downloading Bloodhound Gang and Adam
Sure.
Sandler um and high school age, I feel like that is when you get into like classic rock and psych and stuff like that. All these weirdly mislabeled files on your family computer.
I don't think it's that different. Like, as a kid, I was like taping America's Top 40 with Casey Kasem and,
Yeah, totally.
trying to watch like, Fridays or Midnight
Yes.
Special or just grabbing wherever you could. And then I remember like when the first B-52s
I'm
record came
sure.
out, somebody had it on cassette and we were in elementary school and someone
Yeah.
had it, like got it from their older sibling and we were just like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like it fades in and it has space sounds and the song hasn't started yet where it hasn't even it blew our minds.
Yeah.
But we were just like sitting on school steps doing it. So
B-52s is a funny example. They have a little bit of a Spice Girls thing to them of being very campy and silly, but also like, oh, this kind of rocks actually.
can you imagine if they'd made a B-52 movie like at the height of
That would
their
be really
they could have
cool.
totally done it.
Yeah.
Fred as the lead,
Mhm.
like he's dealing with some kids who fell out of a boat and they have to rescue them and
Yeah.
then they have to get to their it'd just be the same film. That just makes Spice World with the B-52s would be.
I hope I wouldn't be surprised, and I hope that there are like unseen like weird art films that their friends made of them when they were young that haven't
Yeah,
seen the light of day but do exist somewhere.
Yeah, there hasn't even been a proper B-52s documentary yet, which
Yeah.
is just why.
Yeah.
Like, they're so important and
I
so
know.
beloved. I do have to ask about one of the strangest things in the film, though, and
Mhm.
what you felt about the scene as a kid and watching it now, which is when they run into the aliens.
Okay.
That is one of the weird, like, it is a real kind of left turn.
Uh-huh.
It's very pervy for
Yes.
the film.
Yes. One of the aliens touches a breast. Yep.
Yeah, they're very horny aliens that are excited to see the Spice Girls, and the costuming of the aliens is so weird and
Yes.
upsetting. Little tiny face, and I don't know, was like a pod around. I can't even. Can you
Yeah,
describe what?
I think they're wearing like collars, aren't they? Like a jacket with a big collar. And so, yeah, Meatloaf is driving them in their tour bus, and they say, "Pull over. We all have to pee right now." And he says, "Can't you wait for the rest stop?" They say, "No, pull over. All five of us have to go pee." And so they pull over in the woods, and then the girls get out with flashlights to go pee in a bush or whatever. And then a spaceship comes down, and they meet aliens. So I'm very on board for this scene. I totally buy
Yeah,
it. I believe it. I'm like, yep, that makes sense.
yeah. It's really funny because yeah, they want to see if they can get like free tickets, and it's all done with subtitles, like they're all talking in
Yes,
gibberish. Um, but I like the one part where they're like, it's Ginger who kisses one of
yes.
them, right?
And they can understand them. So the aliens speak their own language,
Yes.
but the Spice Girls are like, oh, really? Oh, thank you.
Yeah. It's a movie based in reality, folks, as you can tell. Um, it is so 1998.
Yes.
Like, the people in it, like even the person who snubs their best friend, that is Mike Myers' comedy partner, who
Oh,
in Austin Powers is doing the penile pump joke.
yes.
That's
Yeah.
him, right? Because I was like, everybody in this film has to be somebody, and sure enough, it was like,
Yes.
yep,
Yep.
that's the penile pump joke guy. Um, but yeah, it is very time stamped, but it is also again very silly and weird, and it's done with so much energy and best intentions. Like I said, when Mark McKinney is working overtime, the Spice Girls are working overtime. When Meatloaf is working overtime, Richard E. Grant is working
Yes.
overtime. And it's not like a subtle performance from anyone. It's manic as hell. But it's also kind of, I mean, what would you want from the Spice Girls film? You don't want like a serious drama.
Mm-mm. No. It's perfect as is.
But I will say the closest thing they come to drama in it, now that I think about it, is when they go to their flashback to their past.
Yes.
They're basically singing in a diner where they used to hang out, and this guy Brian owns the diner, lets them hang out and sing into ketchup bottles and things, and then they all flash forward. They all meet in front of the condemned for lease building, whatever,
Yeah.
and they were like, just shows you can't go back. I wonder what happened to Brian. And that's it. And I'm like, I too want to know what happened to Brian.
Yeah, loose ends there.
I'm just like, this guy who's so encouraging and so patient
Yes,
and
yeah.
is like, you don't have to pay for your food. And I'm like, yeah, that's also kind of a rite of passage of being like, oh yeah, I wonder.
That's so funny. We know, my boyfriend went to high school with this guy who used to songwrite with Lady Gaga before she was famous. And I feel like that's the Brian, the restaurant guy in the real world
Yeah.
of like, well, nothing I wrote with her really came of anything, but you know, happy for her.
Yeah. Well, it has this feeling of like, I don't know, maybe something really bad happened to Brian.
Yeah, he had hard times.
It's the one time in the film where there's a little gravity
Yes.
before it turns into. I really appreciate the last 8 minutes of the film where it's just Mark McKinney, like you said, selling the script and what he's telling them. You're seeing the Spice Girls do: discover a bomb, take over the bus, drive it over a bridge, fight people to try to make it to the concert. I mean, obviously a film can't carry that for 90 minutes, but to me, it was like, it really is one of the rare films from this era that kind of finishes big, because
Yeah.
comedies often front load. And then by
Yes.
the time you get to the end, you're like, oh, they've
You're like
already,
tired a little.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And so it's pretty impressive that they end the film with so much energy and ideas still.
Yes. And so satisfyingly meta to have like people pitching a kind of bad movie pitch for a fictional movie starring the Spice Girls within a movie starring the Spice Girls. And like, that's big time winking and laughing at yourself.
What about at the end where they're like speaking directly into the camera and to the audience and be like, oh, you back there. I see you snogging. How long did it take you to figure out what snogging was? Did you have to ask?
I feel like that was a little bit popular in the culture because there was so much British stuff
Okay. Okay.
for American audiences. There was a series of young adult books that I used to read called Angus, Thongs, and Full Frontal
I
Snogging.
remember those books.
And so they were kind of like Bridget Jones, but for junior high, of like girls having their first kiss and being sassy or whatever. So I knew about snogging from that. No, those are very funny books. I remember them being again like this, like, oh, this is actually good quality. They're not phoning it in for this kids thing.
Do you know that even up till a couple years ago, they were talking about doing a sequel, an animated sequel to this film?
I did not know that.
It was in 2019 they announced that they were going to do an animated Spice World sequel with all 5 members being superheroes. Would a Spice Girls movie now, like, would people care?
I hate to sound like uh like a Marvel fan being like, oh, why are they making the hero a girl now? But I feel like they don't need to make a new Spice World. They already did that. And I also feel like the legacy of this movie is so funny. I would hate for them to make a sort of phoned in, made for TV movie type thing. It has to be really funny if they make it.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, we're gonna animate you and make you superhero. It's a pretty lazy idea for them.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, part of what's so cool about this is the logistics of like, wow, they got all these people in the same room to film this. Yeah, when you're watching an animated thing, you're like, this person probably just recorded it from their mansion and emailed it.
Yeah, seeing an animated Elton John or Bob Geldof, it's like,
Yeah, it's not that
it's not.
interesting.
No, you're like, I don't care. There's no stakes.
Yes, yeah, I'd rather watch a YouTube video of them.
Mary, it was so great to meet you and have you bring on, I think, a film that only you could have brought to the show. It's what makes the show special. This is not a show that is just going to be, oh, let's talk about Song Remains the Same. It's like, yeah, the sequences in Spice World are probably better than the dramatic, surreal
Yes,
sequences in Song Remains the Same. Sorry,
yeah.
and,
Sorry,
and
shots fired.
also in the Song Remains the Same, those are staged. Do you know about this? That they shot the film and they screwed it up, so they had to
No.
reshoot the film, stage it. So anytime there's a black backdrop on stage, that is not the arena they were playing in. And John Paul Jones, when they first played it, had this page boy haircut,
Uh-huh.
this Prince Valiant thing. He'd cut his hair by then. It's a wig. Yes. So when you watch the film, it's like, yeah, if there's human heads in it watching the show, that's what they got. But the person making the film was basically taken away from them and they reshot it. in a stage
Wow.
thing, and then cut these two things together. So, hey, who's the real band, right?
Yes. Spice Girls.
Well, at the end of every episode, I ask the same question, but I tailor it depending on the film we're talking about. So on a scale from 5 being the lowest and 28 being the highest, how many seconds of a Mary Houlihan cameo in Spice World do you give the film, and what would happen in the cameo?
Goodness. Well, I would do a 6 second because I don't want to waste too much time. I just want to get in and out. I would just feel really honored to just pop in for a second. So what would I do? I think I'd be a toll agent. And their bus goes through the toll, and I say something snappy at them, and they're like, "Oh, that crazy toll lady."
That's perfect. 6 is what I had too. That's the right answer. 6-second cameo.
Wow.
Mary, thank you so much. I hope I see you again soon. Thanks
Yes,
again.
you will.
Thank you for listening to Revolutions Per Movie. We release new episodes every Thursday on your favorite podcast app and additional bonus episodes every Sunday on our Patreon. The show is a completely independent affair, so the best way to support the show is through our Patreon at patreon.com/revolutionspermovie, where you can get weekly bonus episodes and shows, exclusive limited edition flexi discs and records and CDs featuring guests that have appeared on the show, and other exclusive goods sent to you just for joining. You can follow us on social media at Revolutions Per Movie and also find out more information about our various guests in the episode show notes. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week. Bye!